Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to our candidate forum sponsored by the Carroll County Growth Partnership. Thank you, Trish, and the Carroll Chamber. My name is Kimberly Tiefenthaler, Executive Director. We are excited to bring this candidate forum to you this evening. I will be here with your moderator, Trish Roberts. Joining us is Hubert Hageman, our timekeeper, and members of the CCGP and Chamber Legislative Committee. We're pleased to bring you tonight the candidates that will be on the ballot Tuesday, November 4th in Carroll. They are for the Carroll Community School District Board of Education, Jeff Cullen, Hunter Harmoning, Kristen Lundstrom, Angie Owen, and Charles Spenson. For Carroll City Council Mayor, we have Jerry Fleschner and Dee Spenson. At large, Jeff Kaler, John Lawson for City Council. And City Council Ward 3 is Tage Hinkleman and Kyle Bauer. In Ward 1, Deb Koster is running unopposed and was not able to be with us this evening. Our purpose is for you to get to know the candidates and to allow the candidates an opportunity to present their views on issues that are important to the Carroll citizens. Our thanks to the candidates for joining us. We'll let them introduce themselves in opening statements in just a moment. Members of our legislative committee have index cards for anyone who would like to submit a question from the crowd this evening. Please raise your hand and we will get those to you. The forum is being live streamed on KCIM's YouTube page. It will be kept there for viewing as well. At this time, I would like to hand things over to our moderator, Trish Roberts.
Thank you, Kimberly, and thank you all for being here this evening. And I'd like to welcome all of our listeners who are joining us through the radio station. We're really looking forward to a great candidate forum this evening. And real quickly, I just want to go through the rules for the event. All of our candidates are aware of these rules. Each will have opportunity to give a 2-minute opening statement. We have selected the order. Then we will go into questions that have been submitted over the last couple of weeks. Each candidate will have the opportunity to have 1 minute to answer the question. They have the opportunity not to answer if they choose. The moderator will have the opportunity to ask a 30-second follow-up question. And then each candidate will have the opportunity to give a 1-minute closing remark. We ask our candidates to treat each other civilly and with respect, and we ask that there are no personal attacks and no candidates endorse other candidates. And so with that, we are going to get started. So for opening statements, our first opening statement this evening will come from Jeff Cullen.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank Carroll County Growth Partnership for hosting this forum. Thank you all for attending and watching tonight. My name is Jeff Cullen. My wife Teresa and I moved here in 1994 when I was assigned to Carroll as an Iowa State Trooper. We have 4 children, all of whom graduate from CCSD. We have 4 grandchildren, 3 of whom are currently in CCSD. I currently work as a Carroll County Emergency Management Coordinator. When I graduated from the DPS Academy, I had to request my 3 top choices in towns in Iowa where there were trooper openings. After looking at each of those communities, Teresa and I picked Carroll as our top request. Having a very young family at the time, one of our biggest priorities in looking at communities was the schools. We were very impressed with the school systems Carroll had to offer. We were fortunate to get assigned here. We loved it here. It's been a great community for our family to call home. Why did I decide to run for the school board? I am very proud of Carroll. With our grandchildren growing up here, I want to help ensure they and all students receive a top-notch education. I feel our educators are the backbone of our school. We need to listen to them and our support staff. That is where I plan to begin my position if elected. My position as CCSD Transportation Director has given me a good view of the school's internal operations. I also spent some time filling in for the Director of Buildings and Grounds. That offered yet another view of internal operations. I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight to answer your questions. I am committed to this and excited for the opportunity to serve my community if I am elected. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hunter Harmony.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you to the Carroll Chamber for hosting tonight's forum. My name is Hunter Harmony, and I'm running for the Carroll Community School Board because I love this community, I care deeply about the students, staff, and families who are a part of it. Carroll has always been home. I moved here before kindergarten, graduated from Carroll High, and now am proud to be raising my family here. I also have a child who is currently attending school in the district. This isn't just the school system to me. It's where I grew up, it's where I worked, and it's where I want to help build a strong future. For 8 years, I served as a juvenile court school liaison at CCSD, working closely with the students, staff, and families to navigate challenges, whether it be mental health related, behavioral, or truancy. I was there to partner with the student and family to help their child grow. I also founded the Tiger Cupboard, our school's food pantry, which continues to serve families in need today. I've also served on the board of directors, or on various boards in our community, most recently serving on the board of directors for the Family Resource Center. All of this work came from a place of compassion and commitment. Since leaving the district, I've stayed involved, meeting with board members, staying connected with staff, and continuing to advocate for ways we can improve. I've reviewed the district's data and seen both wins, like our continued success in reading and math scores, and the challenges, including our science scores, low staff retention rate, and low scores for students on individualized education plans. We must be willing to look at the hard truths and work together to grow our district. If elected, I will bring a calm, steady, and even-keeled approach to every discussion. I believe in data-driven decision-making and thrive in collaborative environments even under pressure. My goal is simply to work together with our community, staff, and students to make the best decisions for all involved. It would be an honor to serve this community on the school board. Thank you.
Thank you. Kristen Lundstrom.
Hi, I am Kristen Lundstrom, and I am currently serving on the Carroll Community School Board. And thank you for hosting to the chamber and everyone for coming out and listening on the radio. I grew up in Perry, Iowa, not too far away, big rivals of the Carroll schools as we grew up. But we graduated from UNI, and then my husband and I got married, and he went to Kansas State to get his PhD, and we lived there for 14 years, and we had 2 boys, Tyson and Charlie. They're raising their hands back there in the corner. We moved back to Iowa in 2014 when my husband Joel got a job with DMAC. And we were very excited to move to Carroll. Everyone we told we were moving to Carroll said, "You will love it in Carroll. It is a great community. It has 2 great schools, and you are going to love it there." And we have. Tyson was in 4th grade when we moved, and Charlie was a kindergartner. And now Tyson is 21 and has completed the education through Carroll. And Charlie is a junior, so he'll be 4 more years with Carroll because they both are special needs, so they get to go through age 21. So Joel is still at DMAC. He's doing online director, and I was working at the AEA as a parent advocate, and then I now currently work at Caring Hearts doing billing and payroll for the company that does services for individuals with disabilities. And I also run a summer fun camp during the summer from anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. We go Monday through Friday from all morning long, and we hire teachers and TAs, and half of the kids have disabilities, half of the kids are typical peers. And we have volunteers, and the whole community comes together and donates and actively volunteers, and we keep them busy for...
I'm afraid your time's up. I'm sorry. I'm going to have... Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, Hubert, ring the bell. Hubert, ring the bell louder. Thank you, Kristen. And next is Angie Owen.
Hello. Thank you all for coming out tonight. My name is Angie Owen. A little bit about me. I was born and raised here in Carroll. I graduated from the Carroll Community School District in 2000. And after high school, I went on to UNI for 4 years, and believe it or not, I thought I was the girl that was never going to come back to Carroll. 19 years later, my husband and I decided to come back to this community to raise our kids, and it has been one of the best decisions we made to be closer to our family, and we're excited that our kids get to graduate from the same school district that we did. A little bit about my professional background. I have a lot of experience working in banking and sales and fundraising. So I have a lot of experience with budgets and numbers, and I've sat through a lot of board meetings. I've had the opportunity to lead board meetings through my profession before coming back to Carroll. So I'm familiar with the process of how board meetings are run, and I think that experience is what I can bring to the table to the school board. Very passionate about public schools and what they've done for me, and excited for what they will do for my children. I'm very active at Carroll events. I attend my kids' events, and so I'm around. I'm going to be around for the next 6 years while I have kids in school, so I'm happy to have the opportunity to serve the school in this capacity.
Thank you. Charles Svensson.
First off, I want to thank everyone for coming to the forum tonight. My name is Charles Svensson, and I'm a retired physician. I was in private practice for over 30 years. My wife and I have been residents of Carroll since February of 2017, and everyone may know that my wife is running for mayor, plug. In December of 2021, we adopted our 2 grandsons, and presently they are in the 5th and 3rd grade. So like all parents and grandparents, I want what's best for their education. I believe our school system should be run with common sense and a strong financial focus, ensuring every dollar is spent to directly benefit our students. My only interest is the success of our students and the health of our school district. I am not part of any special interest organization or business. My priority will be to listen to the teachers who are on the front lines of our children's education and make decisions that support their effort and create the best possible learning environment. My oldest grandson has ADHD, and unfortunately, schools now play an increasing role in pediatric mental health. Therefore, we need to make sure the schools get the support that they need. My term will focus on financial accountability to ensure the school district budget is managed transparently and with common sense. Teacher support, advocating for policies that empower and support educators, giving them the tools and resources they need to succeed, and making decisions based on what is practical and beneficial for the students, teachers, and community, free from any influence from business or any other special interest. Thank you.
Thank you. Going on to the next question, it's just a little bit more about your background, and this is a 2-part question. What motivates you to become a school board member, and what skills or experiences qualify you to serve? And this time we're going to start with Hunter Harmoning.
So what motivates me, as I said in my opening, is just I'm from Carroll. I grew up here. I was in the school system. I worked with the school system, worked in the school system, which has helped me to have an inside perspective that not many people have. Through my role, I worked in all 4 school buildings. So I worked with a variety of students, a variety of staff members as well. I feel like this makes me qualified. I can provide an inside perspective, a different perspective to the board that's not currently on the board, and feel like I have the connections to get input from our staff and other people in the community to meet the needs of our school. It's a challenging time. Enrollment has been decreasing in the Carroll school system. And so it's important to make sure all voices are heard. It's important to get feedback from the community, from the staff, as well, especially so that we can improve our staff retention numbers to create more stability within the school and to keep growing our school system as much as we can.
Thank
Thanks.
you. And just as a reminder, 1 minute answers. 1 minute answers. Next, Kristen Lundstrom.
So what motivates me is I'm very passionate about public education. I am especially passionate with my background, obviously my personal life with my boys and my experience with Carroll Summer Fun Camp and the individuals that I work with and advocate for in that realm of my life as well. I spend 4 to 6 weeks with those kiddos in the summer, and I fall in love with them every year and want to do everything I can for them and for all the kids that I have met throughout the school. I also am very passionate with the individuals that we serve in the job that I do at Caring Hearts. Wow, a minute goes fast. And I have a lot of skills in those areas and public education from all of my background.
Thank you. Angie Owen.
I would say what motivates me is that we have a great school district. We actually have 2 great school districts here in Carroll. And the world we live in, a lot of times we don't hear about all the good that happens in the school. We often hear about the things that are not so good or the challenges. Yes, we know there's going to be challenges in a public school district, but I want to communicate the good so people know that this is a great place for our kids to go to school. There's a lot of great things going on, and when there's a challenge, I am motivated to help come up with a solution.
Thank you. Charles Svensson.
Well, what motivates me is that since we now have 2 grandsons in the school system, I want to make sure that the school is run with just good common sense and a strong financial focus, making sure that they can get the best education that they can get. Being a physician, I would listen to patients' symptoms and problems, and after further evaluation, we would come up with what's going on and come up with a plan. Well, I can certainly use and apply that mentality to the school board when problems do come up between teachers, administration, or whoever. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff Cullen.
So what motivates me is, like I said earlier, I want to ensure that my grandchildren and all the students in Carroll have a top-notch education. I want to work on enrollment, increasing our enrollment, and to do that, we have to keep our skills and back our teachers, our TAs, our staff. We have to give them what they need to make us a top-notch school. I feel like my 30-plus years in public service qualifies me to be on the board.
Thank you. Okay, our next question is related to the role of a school board member. And the question is, what are some of the leadership responsibilities of a school board member? And the first one to answer this question is Kristen Lundstrom.
This one is interesting because as an incumbent, I probably understand this a lot more, because when you are running for school board, you have these big expectations of what you can and what you want to do, and you want to change the world and change all of the things that you see that you want to change. But we are obviously guided by policies and following the policies and making the policies, and that is the biggest responsibility of the board, is policy making and following that. We are responsible for financial oversight. That is definitely a big responsibility of the board. We are the bridge between the school district and the community, and we need to communicate openly between the parents and the community and the educators, and evaluate the superintendent, and promote collaboration between board members and maintain ethical standards.
Thank you. Angie Owen.
Well, I see the school board's leadership responsibilities as being the steering committee, coming up with the ideas and presenting them to the school. And then the superintendent and the principals are the staff that are going to go ahead and implement those ideas. So the leadership responsibilities to me are being the steering committee, setting policies, and the other thing would be listening to everyone, listening to all sides, whether that be teachers and students and the community, and bringing that information together to come up with those ideas.
Thank you. Charles Svensson.
Well, I think our responsibility of being a school board member is to make certain that we are accountable for all our finances and what the money is spent on. The other thing is to be a sounding board for the teachers, to be available for the teachers if they have problems, so that they can come to you and discuss what the problem is, what they feel is needed to be done, and to come up with a solution to the issue. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff Cullen.
The role of the school board is a governing body. We are not administration. We know it can cross over depending on what is needed. We set the policies and see that the policies are followed.
Thank you. Hunter Harmoning.
So the role of the school board is to make sure that we are listening to everyone involved, whether that be the community, the staff, the students. We have to make sure taxpayers' dollars are well spent. We also have to be an advocate, and our role is to promote the school. We need to sell our school about how awesome it is, put all that stuff out there, and communicate with the community on the great things that are going on. Also, the role of the board is to evaluate the superintendent, be a sounding board for him and for all the staff, so that we can bounce ideas off one another, work together to best meet the needs of our students, our staff, and community.
Thank you. Okay. We have one more question on the role of a school board member, and that is, and we will begin this time with Angie Owen. How do you see the role of the school board in strengthening our community, and how would you work to build partnerships? Angie Owen.
Well, I think that's actually a big passion of mine. Carroll and Kemper do a lot of collaboration together already, with having plays together, having teams together. And for those students, I see that as building community in them. And in the local community, if you're a business owner or have a business, you should encourage that collaboration between the two. That helps strengthens the community at the student level, just by working together with the two school districts. I just would keep encouraging that to happen.
Thank you. Charles Svensson.
Can you repeat the question again, please?
Yes. How do you see the role of the school board in strengthening our community, and how would you work to build partnerships?
Well, I think that it is vital for the school system to become involved with the community, and I think it's also important for the community to become involved with the school system. I think everyone can work together and we can make a better community with the collaboration between the school board and the local businesses in town. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff Cullen.
I think communication is key. I think, we can share more things, get more involved, day-to-day operations. They need us, we need them. The city can help in this too. It's just not the school. I believe everybody worked together for the whole community. During the time as transportation director, I initiated taking care of their buses, doing their maintenance on their buses. It worked great. We saved them quite a bit of money. In our mechanics, that's all they do is work on buses. They got in there quicker, we got them out quicker, and it worked pretty slick. So I think just more togetherness, more sharing things, that would be my suggestion.
Thank you. Hunter Harmoning.
Having worked inside of the school, I'm aware of the partnerships that are already formed, and I think it's important to build on those. So we have a partnership with DMAC. It's great that our high school students are able to take college-level courses at DMAC. We have partnerships with mental health agencies in town. With Plains Area Mental Health, they provide in-school therapy to our students that need that and can't get out of school to get the therapy services they need. We partner with New Opportunities to bring awareness regarding substance use issues in the school as well. So we have a number of fantastic partnerships, and I think we need to continue building on those and keeping an open mind to create more partnerships as well. As part of growing the community, I think it's important to attract more staff to Carroll. Carroll's an awesome town, and so if we can attract and retain people and staff, not only does that strengthen our community, but it also strengthens our school.
Thank you. Okay, we have a number of questions about current issues.
I didn't get to answer.
Oh, Kristen, I'm so sorry. Kristen Lundstrom.
To avoid repeating everything that they said, we do still work on the buses, and we do have several of those programs that Hunter spoke about. We also have a mentoring program that we've been doing at the middle school with some of the community members come in, and then I think some of the high school students are also working with the middle school students, and that program is going very well out there also. And then we have also worked with the Kemper schools because Kemper made the playoffs, and Carroll is hosting their last home game on Friday. So we're both playing at home on Friday, which will be a little bit of a chaotic mess, but they both will get their home games. So that is a big community thing that we did together. And then the DMAC programs are fantastic for our high school students that leave our school as graduates to go into the college career academy. So we do have a lot of great programs.
Thank you. And now we're ready to move on to our next question. What do you see as the current challenges facing public education in our state? Charles Svensson.
The challenges, I think, can be related a little bit to the more responsibility that schools have with pediatric mental health. It seems there's much less support at home, and therefore all the responsibility is left up to the schools, and therefore it's becoming a very major issue with some of the teachers that they're having to deal with mental health along with the students in the classroom and their education.
Thank you. Jeff Cullen.
I agree. Mental health is an increasing problem, and we're dealing with that. We got to continue to deal with that. We got to continue to stay on top of that. A couple other things: declining enrollment, teacher staff retention, and funding is always going to be a challenge. So those are the main four I can think of.
Thank you. Hunter Harmoning.
Yeah, there's a number of different challenges. Some we can control, some we can't. Some are just passed down from the state, and we just have to roll with it and do the best we can. Some of the challenges, I agree with those that have already spoken: mental health funding, decreasing enrollment, staff retention in the state. There's less people now going into education-related fields when they go into college, which produces less teachers, which makes it harder to hire teachers, especially in the rural school districts. So that's one of the main challenges that I see. Iowa's test scores have also been lower over the last few years, nationally ranked wise, and so I think that's the state is aware of that, and they're making different changes regarding curriculum and things like that to hopefully strengthen our scores back up.
Kristen Lundstrom.
So the budget is a big challenge, especially when the funding comes down from the state and they are not funding as much, and then they also, on top of that, make requirements that we pay first-year teachers this amount, year 12 teachers this amount, and then they don't give us any money for the compaction in the middle, and then we have to become very creative to make up that difference, but then they don't give us any money to do that. So all of that becomes very difficult. And then declining enrollment, teacher retention, rural schools, everybody is fighting these same problems. Special education teachers especially they're just not going into that field. Everybody is struggling finding special education teachers. So we have come up with a lot of different things that hopefully I'll be able to talk about in another question.
Thank you. Angie Owen.
Well, I'm going to sound like I'm regurgitating what everybody just said, but funding is always going to be the main challenge. There's never enough money in public education to do it all. As much as we want to pay teachers more and retain the great staff we have, sometimes the funding, we're going to have to advocate at a higher level to continue to get more money to do all the things we want to do. Like I said, I know teacher retention and enrollment numbers are a challenge, and we need to keep being creative to see what we can do to make that better.
Thank you. And as I stated earlier, we are just kind of shooting through some current issue questions, so it seems like we're skipping around a little bit, but maybe this will help as you can answer some of the questions that you're wanting to answer. So this is a question about technology. We realize technology is an important part of our schools, but I would like to see a reduction in screen time. Is that possible? And so this time we are starting with Jeff Cullen.
Technology it changes daily, hourly. I mean, it's constantly changing. One of the best things that I think has happened is cell phones have been banned. It's a law. We need to follow that. The best thing we can do for our children is guide them responsibly with technology and encourage good decisions. We have to trust our educators to lead and teach just on any subject. I feel like we've got the educators. We just need to follow their lead and let them go.
Thank you. Hunter Harmoning.
Yeah, I think it would be great if we could all get a reduction in screen time. There's so many studies out there about how harmful social media and technology in general is to our mental health. So I agree. I think the state had a great start with the cell phone ban. I think teachers are always working to use technology appropriately when needed, when it's educational. But at the same time, they also recognize that it's important for students to have face-to-face conversations, work together in teams, go to recess, play games, learn how to lose. Like I can remember in the school. Some of those things when I worked there, those social skills are just so important. And so I think it is important to limit screen time as much as we can, not only for kids, but for all of us in this room.
Thank you. Kristen Lundstrom.
So I will say that we actually did the no cell phone policy prior to the law coming out. So we were one step ahead, which I'm very proud of that we did do that. And the teachers and the students, with the students on our school board, said that that was very positive at the high school level, especially. So that is great. I do know that some of our new curriculum that we have purchased also is more hands-on types of curriculum, and I think that that has helped maybe bring less screen time to the classroom also. And the community did the Anxious Generation book event, which I think was great for parents to read that book. I wish more and more people would read that book. It's a great book. In the summer camp that I do, we don't allow any of that, and the kids learn to play games and find rules and be bored and do things like that they don't get to do at home. So I would highly encourage less screen time too.
Thank you. Angie Owen.
I commend Carroll for being ahead of the game and implementing the no cell phones before the law came out. It is very important that when kids are in school that they are focused and not worried about social media and all those things, and they're learning the things we need to do to go out and be good people without technology. However, I would say too, though, technology is something that is their future. So we need to also be open-minded as a school board and for teachers of how we can ourselves learn how to use some of these new things with technology so we can help them in their future and prepare them for how they're going to use it responsibly as students and when they become adults.
Thank you. Charles Svensson.
I certainly want to commend the Carroll board for banning cell phones during school, because I think that is a tremendous distraction to the students. But when it comes to screen time, with the development of AI now, I think the AI expands people's imagination and knowledge, but I think we need to put some type of policy together that that restricts it, because it can become a serious problem in the wrong hands and with the wrong ideas. I do trust the teachers and the school board or whoever would be involved in coming up with a policy in restricting AI and making a policy, making it to the students' benefit.
Thank you. The next question is, can you share examples of your involvement with local schools, volunteering, attending events, mentoring, or community service before running for office? And for this question, we are going to begin with Hunter Harmoning.
So working at the school, I was extremely involved. There were days where I would get up at 5:45, go to the bus barn to take a student to the behavior school that's near Fort Dodge, come back, work my day job, go back, pick up the student, come back, and then get home about 4:30, and then go work an activity till 9 o'clock. I was extremely involved with all different activities at the school. As I stated earlier in my introduction as well, I also helped create the Tiger Cupboard, which is our school's food pantry. And so twice a month, even in the summer, I would, after school hours, myself and a team of staff members would hand out food to families in need. And so public service, being compassionate, helping others is just a huge priority for myself. And I've always felt that way, and I could bring that to the board as well.
Thank you. Kristen Lundstrom.
I obviously ran the summer fun camp from 2014 on, but I also did something similar in Kansas before I moved here as well. I also have done the 712 Women on a Mission, where we have our goal has always been to be 100 women go to a certain donation once a quarter, and we all go to a meeting and we pick one organization that we're going to donate to that quarter, and then so we all nominate one, and then we pick one of those, and then we all donate $100 to that organization once a quarter. So I've always been involved in that one. And then I volunteer a lot. I just try to do everything that I can with any kind of 5K run or anything like that, t-shirt buying and everything that supports anything like that.
Thank you. Angie Owen.
With having 2 students in the district, most of my volunteer work centers around the school district already. I do so by volunteering to help in the concession stands at ball games that I'm already at, or also with the foundation, if they have a fundraising event, talking with them on different ways they can help raise money for the school. Prior to my previous position that I worked at New Hope as the volunteer coordinator. So for their events, I was in charge of lining up lots of volunteers for their events. And so I still enjoy to do some of my volunteer work with New Hope since I have left there. But I enjoy, if they have the rib wagon going on or something, volunteering for that event, or if they have something with their residents that they need help with, I'm always happy to step in.
Thank you. Charles Svensson.
With 2 grandsons in the 5th and 3rd grade, my wife and I have been involved with a lot of their concerts and things related to after school. But as I said before, my oldest grandson has ADHD, and therefore we have become involved with setting up his school plan, what they expect from him, and so therefore we've certainly has learned quite a bit about what goes into helping a student who has problems learning or surviving school.
Thank you. Jeff Cullen.
When our children are in school, we're active in doing activities with them, so forth, concession stands, things like that. We've been a member of the Booster Club for several years. When I was transportation director, not too many people knew it, but I was up at 3 in the morning checking the roads, making sure it's safe. I was a trooper. I was trained to take people off the roads, not put them on when it's slick out. I've spent 30 plus years on volunteer fire departments, 19 right here in Carroll.
Thank you. Okay, the next question. Do you support Iowa's current law passed in 2023 where parents can direct public tax dollars to the school of their choice? And this question will begin with Kristen Lundstrom.
Oh, goodness. I do not. So I feel like there has always been parent choice. They have always gotten to choose between a public school and a private school. If you go to the public school, you pay public money. If you go to a private school, you just pay the tuition to go to the private school. But with the vouchers, the biggest thing now, I mean, they're here to stay, I think. So I think that now that they're here, I feel like the rules should just be the same, that if I get public money, private schools get public money, we should probably have the same rules of I show you where my transparency is, where we spend the money. The private schools should also abide by those same regulations.
Thank you. Angie Owen.
Look, my opinion on the school vouchers is I'm not in favor. Doing my research, the pros are few and the cons are many for the public school system. However, opinions they're not solutions, so our job as a school board is to be creative, and like Kristen said, they're here, and so we have to work together with what we have to make it work. If it's going to continue or not continue, our job as a school board member is to advocate at a higher level for what we need.
Thank you. Charles Svensson.
I am not in favor of the voucher system. I don't think it's right to take money out of the public education and put it into the private education. The parents made a choice to go to private schools, and I don't think they should get any type of public funding for that decision. Unfortunately, though, this is something that's going to be here, and we're going to have to just deal with it. Maybe the best way would be the next election for governor in 2026. That may help with the voucher.
Thank you. Jeff Cullen.
Well, opinions don't matter at this point. It's signed into law. Our role as public schools is to figure out a way to get our funding, create ways to get our funding. It's here. There's nothing you can do about it. You better get your funding.
Thank you. Hunter Harmoning.
I too am not in favor of the voucher system, but as everyone has said, it's a law. And so what can we do? Well, we can focus on what we can do here now that it is a law. We can advocate and promote our schools even more. That's what it's going to take. We need to keep building a positive culture, make our school a place that people prefer to go to, make it a place where people prefer to teach at, make it a place where people prefer to work at. That's what we need to focus on. And yeah, when the next election cycle comes around, we can advocate with our local representatives and give them our perspective, being a community member, and if we were to be on the board as well. But I think we just need to focus on building up the school that we have and grow it that way.
Thank you. We're going to take time for one more quick question before we take a break, or before we have our closing comments. How should this district address teacher retention in rural Iowa? And we're going to start with you, Angie Owen.
Well, I would say our teachers, they're extremely important, obviously, to our students. And there is a lot of talk around teacher compensation and retention of teachers. We need to fight every day to get them what they need. But I also have spoken with teachers, and what is important to them also are the other things like their benefits, protection of, the benefits that they receive that are important to them. And also, it's the culture that we can build within the school to make teachers and everyone feel valued. So we need to work together to make sure that not even the teachers, the teaching assistants, the bus drivers, everyone in the school district feels valued and important. We know they are, and on top of what we can do from a compensation level, we need to make them feel valued.
Thank you. Charles Svensson.
Teacher retention is probably one of the biggest problems that we have in the school system right now. You can increase their salary, but that's not, they're going to want, they need more than just an increase in salary. They need to be appreciated. They need to have some type of, feel like they have value in what they do, and they need support basically of the community and the administration. I think it's very important to review their benefits, to make certain that they have some of the best benefits in the state, and to make sure that they do feel valued at all times.
Thank you. Jeff Cullen.
Well, I think first of all, we got to listen to them, and not just listen to them. What are they telling you? You got to act on it. So, you know, they need this, they need this, they need this. Yeah, they do. It's our job to decide, you know, and give them what they need to do. A mechanic can't work without his tools. A teacher can't work without their specialties, you know, things like that. I'm going to pride myself. When I ran the bus barn, you'd be hard-pressed to find one of those drivers that said they didn't like me. Take care of your employees. That's number one.
Thank you. Hunter Harmoning.
Yeah, staff retention is definitely a huge issue, and I think it starts with culture. School staff have always been underpaid. That dollar amount's determined by the state, but if you build a culture, it kind of goes back to what I said before. If you build a culture and create a place where people want to be, it makes that a lot easier to bring in staff. Since August, we've had 9 TAs quit that have resigned. So this isn't just a teacher problem, it's a school staff problem. The teachers' associates, we need to listen to them. We need to do what we can to give them a livable wage. It's not always about the money, as I said. It's a lot more than just the benefits. If you feel like you are important at your job, and you feel connected with your coworkers and your students, it makes it a better place to come work.
Thank you. Kristen Lundstrom.
So I have, teacher retention is very important. Teachers are very important, and it is important to make them feel valued. It's important to make them feel heard. I have had the opportunity to be on the negotiations committee over the last 3 years, and I do feel like we have listened and we have heard and we have tried to come up with things. We are very limited on funding, so we have come up with different things for them to try to compensate where we can. We've offered early contract signing bonuses for if they turn in their contracts within so many days early, then they get a bonus, and then we know earlier and we can get better candidates in earlier. You can turn sick days, so many sick days, into an extra personal day, time off to attend your family events, days off at the beginning of the year or the end of the year to where they couldn't before, determined by a committee, a sick day bank for emergencies. We did tiers for TAs. We did 2 paid snow days for them. We've done a lot of additional things.
Thank you. So it's now time to move into our closing statement, and we are going to go in reverse order of our opening statement. And so our closing statements will be 1 minute, and I'd like to start with Charles Svensson.
My term on the school board will be based on 4 things. First and foremost, and the most important, is teacher support and retention. Second will be financial accountability. Third is just common sense governance. And lastly, complete transparency. I want to make sure that every decision or dollar spent will be for the benefit of our school system and not benefit any special interest group or business. Therefore, I would appreciate your vote on November 4th.
Thank you. Angie Owen.
I would be honored to serve this district as a school board member. When I commit to something, it usually means I'm all in, and that's exactly how I would approach this role. I'm fully committed to helping our school district continue to grow, improve, and move forward in a positive direction. I also commit to communicating by listening and having an open mind and bringing all ideas from all sides together. And then also with follow through, making sure that if I say I'm going to do something or communicate something, that I will follow through with an answer.
Thank you. Kristen Lundstrom.
I am running for school board because I am passionate about public education and I want to inspire lifelong learners. I have a desire to strengthen this district and continue to build a district that we are proud of. Want to support the teachers and the staff. They are the backbone of this community. I want to help prepare students for the future and help them be successful in career, college, and beyond. I want to continue to listen to all the voices. I believe that every decision must support students' learning, safety, and well-being. Every child deserves to feel welcomed and protected. I will lead with transparency, with an open, honest communication with families and community. I will support the staff, respecting and retaining great teachers through smart policy. We have done a lot of great things. Obviously, there is work to continue to do, but we really have done a lot of great things to keep the staff that we have. I love to expand on the access to career, college, and life skills. I am proud of what we have done, and I will love to continue to work with you and for the future.
Thank you. Hunter Harmony.
Thank you again to everyone that took time out of your evening to be here tonight. I just want to end by expressing my deep appreciation for the dedicated staff of our school district. Your hard work, your passion, your resilience make such a meaningful difference in the lives of our students every day. I've seen that firsthand, and I understand the challenges you face, whether it's balancing academic and behavioral needs or stepping up to fill in when short-staffed. It'd be an honor to serve alongside everyone to help ensure that you have the support and the resources you need. We have done a lot regarding staff retention, but we're still last in the conference. We have to do more to keep our staff. I'm running because I believe in this district, I believe in our students, our families, and I believe in the strength of working together to solve problems. If elected, I'll lead with a steady hand, listen with an open mind, and make thoughtful, student-centered decisions that reflect the values of our community.
Thank you. Jeff Cullen.
If elected, I promise to work with my team members to build on good faith that has already been done here at CCSD. I commit to serve the families of Carroll Community School District just as I have served the citizens of the state of Iowa and Carroll County for over 30 years. We need to strive to make sure CCSD is a place we want to work and a place our educators and staff are proud to be part of. In my opinion, that is how we retain and attract new families to our school. People like myself want to know their children are receiving the best education possible. I'd like to thank the staff, the educators, everyone at Carroll Community School District for what they do and for attending tonight. I'd also like to thank all of you. I would appreciate your vote, and have a good evening.
Thank you. Would you join me in thanking all of our candidates for being here tonight? I would like to ask all of our city candidates to make their way to the stage, and we're going to make a quick turnaround. We'll be back in a minute. Kristen, I'm so sorry that you know what? I had a lot of papers. I was like debating on things. Oh, no, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. I had a lot of papers, a lot of marks. If I only forgot one, I did great. I mean, it's an 8 out of 8 plus. What time do you have to be at home? Okay. No. It's go time. I know, I can. Sorry. Yeah, we're gonna get going. I guess you would run really, really fast. I mean, you can go really fast. I'm in order like that. I'm not sure. They'll put.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably gonna think it's some green records that have a cool hairdo like ours.
Cheap enough. Can't do it. But this is straight drops.
Yeah, redhead. Which that's definitely nice man thing.
The house will go up.
See a lot of money. Space world.
Yep.
Now it's double.
Yeah, in our parents, they not buying these houses because they were buying for 89,
Yeah.
100,000. Even 150,000. That was a lot of money. First house I bought was 139,000. No, 127,000. I sold it for 139,000.
Just be gentle. Be gentle.
We'll call you out.
Yeah, I rented that house. I lived there for probably a year and a half. And I rented it out for 15 years.
Okay, folks, are we ready to roll again? The candidates are in place, and we are ready to begin with the opening statements. So, our first candidate for mayor, Jerry Fleschner. There are.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Jerry Fleschner, the current mayor of Carroll and candidate for mayor of Carroll. I thank the Carroll Chamber and the Carroll County Growth Partnership for giving each of us the opportunity to allow voters to get to know us just a little better. I was born in Carroll, spent most of my life here, and I've lived in a few other Iowa towns, just long enough to know that this is the right fit for me. I have a great deal at stake in success for Carroll. I have 3 adult children. 2 have chosen to make Carroll their home. My daughter Jessica is currently living in Japan, where her husband is serving in the U.S. Navy. It is their hope to also settle in the Carroll area in the near future. I also have grandchildren living in Carroll, so my interest in our community's success spans 3 generations. I'm a pharmacist, and I own 2 local pharmacies. That's Lincoln Highway Pharmacy and Clinic Pharmacy of Carroll. As a business owner and as a homeowner, I'm very aware of the importance of keeping tax rates as low as possible while still providing amenities that will serve the public good. Amenities just like the building we're in right now. I served as a school board member for 7 years, on the Carroll City Council for 8 years, and as mayor for 2 years. I've also been a high school referee for over 40 years, which I've often said is actually the best experience that helps me the most in government. It's my desire to continue serving as our mayor because I represent stability, a great deal of pride in our town, and an understanding of spending our dollars in reasonable fashion in ways that help our community to stay where it is, the pride of Western Iowa. Thank you.
Thank you. Dee Svensson.
I would like to thank everyone for coming out this evening and hearing what we have to say and introducing ourselves to you so that you can know just a little bit about who we are. My name is Dee Swinson. My husband Charles and I, we've lived in Carroll since early 2017. In 2021, we adopted 2 of our grandchildren and brought them here to Carroll so that they could grow and get the best education that they could possibly give them. One of our grandchildren, Oliver, he is I call our special needs child. He has severe ADHD as well as the oppositional defiance disorder. So each and every teacher at that school understands where we're coming from. I also have a grandson named Harrison who just turned 8. And my husband is a retired OBGYN from here in Carroll, but he still serves the community in many different ways. Together, we own a local business called A Touch of Country, along with another retail building. Our home is here in Carroll. We are deeply vested in the city. We have chosen to spend our retirement years right here, taking an active role in Carroll's growth, development, and the community life here. I am running for mayor because I want to be the voice of every citizen in Carroll. because every person, every concern matters. With hands-on, practical approach and a commitment to transparency and accountability, I'll bring common sense leadership that listens, but not only does it listen, it acts. My focus is on strengthening small business, revitalizing our downtown, supporting our schools, our families, our youth, and making sure that our tax dollars are used wisely for the good of the entire community, not just a few.
Thank you. Candidate for at-large City Council, Jeff Kaler.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank the Chamber for hosting this event. I think it's important for the community to have an opportunity to visit with all the school board candidates and the candidates for mayor and council. Additionally, I'd like to thank all of you for taking your time to come and see us tonight. And finally, I want to thank the other candidates. Many years as I worked for the city, it was difficult to get people to run for these offices. So I was very pleased to see a number of people show an interest this year. I was born and raised in Storm Lake. I moved to Carroll in 1981. I received a bachelor's degree from the University of Iowa prior to coming here. Later finished my master's degree after I had worked here several years. I've been married to Sandy Wittry, a local girl, for 43 years now. We have 2 adult children, Amy and Chrissy, and they and their husbands and my 5 granddaughters all live in Omaha. I've devoted essentially my entire adult life to public service. Most of you probably know me from my work at the police department. I was a patrol officer for 2 years, a sergeant for 1 year, and I was your police chief for about 30 and a quarter years. I also served as the administrator of the City County Communications Center. And then a few years ago, I was recruited to serve as your interim city manager for about 6 months from October of 2022 to March of 2023. I've held several leadership positions in local, county, state, and national organizations. I was the chairman of your County Emergency Management Commission, chairman of the 911 Service Board, president of the Iowa Police Chiefs Association, chairman of the Region 5 Drug Task Force. I was on the National Advisory Policy Board for the FBI CJIS Division. Currently, I'm semi-retired. I work as a municipal consultant. I've been attending council meetings for 40 years now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also at-large candidate, John Lawson.
Thank you all for coming. My name is John Lawson. I'm 37 years old. I'm originally from Jefferson, Iowa. My wife, 4 kids, and I moved to Carroll when a job opportunity became available within the company I worked for, 5 years. Reliant Energy as the gas department foreman, and I've been with the company for 12 years. I'm running for city council because I want to continue to make Carroll a great place to live, as well as making it more affordable for its citizens. I don't believe there is a better place to raise a family with the opportunities we have here, and I think now is a great time to step up and help drive positive change. I'm committed to being a strong voice for common sense governance with fiscally sound conservative values, and I want to ensure taxpayer dollars are spent wisely while maintaining transparency and accountability. Some of my top priorities are to lower the property tax levy rate to offset what will otherwise be a significant tax increase due to recent higher valuations on hardworking families and retirees on fixed incomes. We are arguably one of the lowest in the state when compared to our peer groups in size, but that is due to our historically vibrant valuations, and I feel we can improve on that. In addition to lowering the levy, I would also like to reduce the borrowing of money for projects to help drive down the debt service levy. I also believe the city should not be involved in purchasing land. Land acquisition should solely be for the developers. I am all for Carroll growing and thriving, but it needs to be done organically and not off the backs of the taxpayer.
Thank you. Third Ward candidate, Kyle Bauer.
First of all, I want to thank the Chamber and the Carroll County Growth Partnership for putting this event on tonight. My name is Kyle Bauer, and I'm honored to be a candidate for Carroll City Council Ward 3. I want to thank the citizens for having the privilege to represent them and be their voice for the last 4 years in Ward 3. I was born and raised in Carroll, and I'm proud to call Carroll home. Both my parents live in Carroll, along with a large portion of my extended family. I graduated from Carroll High School in 2010, and I started investing in real estate at the age of 19, and I've grown my real estate portfolio over the last 14 years. A business partner and myself Recently finished a new construction development project on Main Street in Carroll. And a friend and I purchased an existing car wash in Carroll and currently own and operate that along with one in Audubon. I'm employed by the McLaughlin family and oversee all automotive operations between our 2 Ford stores in Coon Rapids and Pocahontas, 2 Napa stores in Coon Rapids and Jefferson, and an auto care division. If reelected, my goals will be continuing to make sure we provide great services for our residents, continue responsible and transparent spending of our taxpayer dollars, working to keep a low, steady levy rate, continuing exploring housing and grant opportunities, all while continuing to build and grow our tax base. I want to thank you for considering my candidacy, and I'm excited about the opportunity to serve Carroll and Ward 3 and work together towards a prosperous future. I look forward to the possibility of continuing contributing my skills and passion to our shared success as a community. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. 3rd Ward candidate Tage Hinkleman.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tage Hinkleman. I'm 28 years old. I recently got married to my wife, Abby, and I have called Carroll, actually Ward 3, home since 2004. I graduated from Kemper in 2015. I'm an independent insurance agent, an auctioneer, and have a snow removal business here in Carroll. Like a lot of folks here, I've always paid attention to local government, maybe not always being directly involved, but always interested in how decisions impact our community. The reason I decided to run for city council really comes down to bringing common sense back to local government. We need to make decisions that reflect what's best for the people who live and work here, not based on emotion, personal gain, or outside influence, but on practicality and what makes sense for Carroll. First and foremost, that means smart spending. Every dollar has a direct correlation to the tax levy. I believe we have a responsibility. We have to be responsible stewards of taxpayer dollars, investing where the majority of the residents want and cut back on wasteful and unnecessary projects. Next, I care deeply about reliable services and safety. Our fire department, our police department, our first responders all do incredible work, and we need to make sure they have what they need to do their job safely and effectively. I also believe in accessible leadership. I'm not here to push my own agenda. I'm here to represent the people of Ward 3 and Carroll. My opinions matter, sure, but at the end of the day, I work for you, the constituents, the taxpayers, the residents who call this place home. Finally, I'm committed to transparency. People deserve to know how decisions are made, where the money's going, what priorities are shaping our city's future. These choices will impact not only us, but our kids and grandkids for years to come. I will be asking the dumb questions when we don't know what the answer is. Why? Where is it going? Why are we doing this? We need simplicity, common sense. I may be young, but I'm ready to listen, I'm ready to learn, I'm ready to work for Carroll's future. Thank you again for the Chamber for hosting tonight's forum, and thank you for all being here.
Thank you. Deb Coster is a candidate for the 1st Ward. She is running unopposed, and she had a previously scheduled commitment out of state, and so we did tell her that she could submit a brief statement, so I do plan to read that at this time. I am Deb Coster, living in Ward 1 in Carroll. I've been a resident of Carroll for the last 38 years. I am married to Howard Coster. I have 3 children and 7 grandchildren. 5 of those 7 grandchildren will grow up in this community. I have been the CEO of a very successful company, Devonsoy, and stepped down this past March 31st. I am still assisting with the transition of the new CEO through the end of this year and am away at this time. I bring business experience and leadership of people with the desire to give back to the community where I raised my family. I feel my core values, along with my work ethic, will allow me to continue to offer direction to the City Council for the citizens of Carroll and serve you well. I will advocate for transparency and accountability with my position. I am a conservative and will respect your tax dollars for the best use for services, public safety, and infrastructure, some of the basic functions of government. There is a lot for me to learn regarding city government, but bringing the private business ownership knowledge will be an asset for our community and citizens. I have always had to meet budgets in my company, working with banks and customers. Fiscal responsibility is key, whether in private business or city government. I will use my common sense work experience to deliver results to you, the taxpayer. I'm committed to serving Carroll with integrity, passion, and would be honored with your support. I will work to make Carroll a stronger community for the place we call home. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to get started with our questions. We've had questions submitted for our council candidates, and we've had questions submitted for our mayoral candidates, and we've had some submitted for both. So I'm going to ask some questions for just the council, and some for all, and some for just our mayor candidates. So this question, the first question is for our council candidates. Tell us why you are running for city council, and what do you believe is the role of a city council mayor? City council member. Let me say this one more time. Tell us why you are running for city council, and what do you believe is the role of a city council member? And we're going to start this time with John Lawson.
Like I said before, I'm running for city council because I want Carroll, make Carroll a better place to live. I believe roles as a city councilman is, I think, the most important role of being a councilman is making decisions that are in the best interest of the community. The council needs to be people who are leaders and will listen, act with integrity, and make sure local policies serve the people effectively and fairly. They also need to be transparent and being the bridge between local government and citizens.
Thank you. Jeff Kaler.
Thank you. I've been involved in city government for over 40 years now, both locally here, and then I've mentioned earlier, I've served as a municipal consultant around the state. I've attended our local council meetings for 30 years as your chief, and for 10 years since that time. I just really enjoy being involved. I don't have any particular issues or axes to grind. I just think I bring a lot of firsthand knowledge of city government to the job. I have a unique connection with the business community, with the residents in our community, and I think that that's going to be beneficial moving forward as a council member.
Thank you. Tage Henkelman.
Repeat the question, please.
Tell us why you are running for city council, and what do you believe is the role of a city council member?
Well, myself, I'm running because I've seen what this administration's done the last 2 to 4 years, and it just really fires me up. What is the role of a city council member? I think it's a liaison between the constituents and the administrator and the different departments.
Thank you. Okay, our next question will go to all of our...
Trish, I'll answer.
Oh, okay, and I've given them all permission to call me out. I've got like 20 pieces of paper up here. And Kyle said he would call me out. Kyle Bauer.
Why am I running for city council? One, I think it's important for individuals to get involved in their community. And I felt when I first ran 4 years ago, it was important for me to get involved, and I still do. I love Carroll. Carroll's home. I want to see Carroll grow, prosper, and be a great place for all of us. So that's why I'm going to continue to run. I've been very transparent. I think all of our meetings are transparent. They're all open to the public, along with our budget books. They're all open. So being transparent, open.
Thank you. I'm going to try to do better, you guys. Okay, now on to our next question, and this question is for all of our candidates. Some candidates have chosen to run as part of a coalition while others are running independently. How do you believe your approach, whether collaborative or individual, benefits the community? And we are going to begin with Dee Svensson. Okay. Some candidates have chosen to run as part of a coalition while others are running independently. How do you believe your approach, whether collaborative or individual, benefits the community?
Well, I feel like I could benefit the community, one, because like I said, I want to be the voice of Carroll. I want people to be heard. I want to see people be accountable for the things that are done. I want to see people be able to grow and to develop. But just as a citizen myself, just a person that lives in Carroll, I want to see us grow and thrive, and I want us to see us do this in positive in ways. And so as far as, being a part of a group, or yes, I am part of a group because we believe in common sense. We believe in doing things that benefit everybody. We believe in doing things and saving dollars where we can save them. We want to save those dollars so that we can use them in more appropriate places. So I don't even know if that's what you were asking me, but that's the answer that I'm going to give you. But I want to be a part of Carroll. I want to see Carroll grow. I just want to be one of you. And then to be one of you, I want to help each and every one of us in this community grow, thrive, and be proud of our community.
Thank you. Thank you. Jerry Fleschner.
It's fine however someone wants to run. If someone wants to run.
Do you have a microphone, Jerry?
Pardon?
Use your microphone.
Gee. Maybe somebody could hear me anyway, I'm not sure. It's fine if someone wants to run in a coalition. I don't have a problem with that. It's not a fit for the way I wanted to do this because traditionally this has not been a partisan type of an issue. It's not been a Democrat-Republican issue. It's just been, what do you want for your city? So I prefer to just be on my own and explain my own views and not feel responsible to the views of others in a coalition. So for me, it's not the way that I prefer to do things.
Thank you. Jeff Kaler.
Thank you. I also am running independently. That being said, I've built relationships with all of the current council members and quite frankly, some of the people that are running against me and in the other wards as well. I've shown over the years I have the ability to work with anyone about anything. I don't think city government is a place for a coalition. 6 independent people are up there. I'm a very analytical, very logical person. Any issue that comes before me, I will be studying independently. I'll be seeking input from the constituents, from other council members, from city staff and others in order to make good decisions. I will not be reliant upon a group to tell me what I should be thinking. I think it should be 6 independent votes and the majority rules. I think we're policymakers and we have to remember that.
Thank you. John Lawson.
Yes, I guess you could say I run with a group. They're called Carroll Citizens for Common Sense because, after all, who's not about common sense here? I don't think being a part of a group like that influenced me in any way of how I'm running. We all have our own individual ideas that find unity in common sense and conservative views when considering city issues with all taxpayers. We combined our resources to make our funds go further as a group. I believe people can and should be able to run a campaign how they would like.
Thank you. Kyle Bauer.
I am running independent. I think it's important to have 6 independent votes up there, and I think that it's important that you do have some disagreements up there, which opens up some discussion. I think if you have a group that votes all one way, it could kill progress, could kill a lot of projects that could potentially keep Carroll growing and thriving and moving forward. So I am 100% independent vote, and I do believe that some disagreements and discussions are good and well had up at the council table, as we currently do have.
Thank you. Tage Henkelman.
Coalition, PAC, whatever you want to call it, just to set the record, if you spend over $1,000, you are a coalition or you are a PAC. So, yes, I was backed by the Carroll Citizens for Common Sense Government. Again, yeah, we have a lot of the same ideas, but I'm still my own person. I still, when I get up there to vote, it's still my vote. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. The next question is a question for our candidates for mayor. And Jerry, you'll get this question first. What is your long-term vision for the city, and how will your leadership help bring the community, council, and local organizations together to achieve it?
Okay, my long-term goal for the city of Carroll is to continue to progress just as we have for literally decades now. This has been, as I said before, it's the pride of Western Iowa. It's my goal to keep it that way. How will I do that? In my role as mayor, I work with many different parts of the government. I see people out here like Scott here that I serve on committees with, and I would continue to be active in roles beyond being just the mayor, even after I'm not serving in this. I have so much pride in Carroll, Iowa, that I would continue to want everything to work toward a success. I understand that some things cost money. I am committed to spending things wisely, because if we don't, we only get one or two choices. If we spend money wisely, we might get 5 or 6 different things taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you. Dee Svensson.
Well, I think that bringing to the table my vision, I have a very solid vision. I believe in Carroll. I want to see Carroll grow. I want to see Carroll thrive. I want to see us do the things that benefit each and every one of you sitting out here tonight. You have concerns, you have needs, you have wants, and a lot of those aren't being met. But I think as part of being mayor, we can sidestep things, and I don't mean like sidestep. I mean, we could maybe set this project aside to do this project, and then we could use that money that is sitting there. It's earmarked. It can be used for whatever we need it to be used for, but it's also growing interest. But if it's not a need, an immediate need that the city needs, or if it's not something that's going to help us grow or develop, then I don't think we need to do it. I think one of the most important things about being a mayor is being community oriented. That means getting out there, being with the community, having the community come to you, ask you questions, expect you to stand up and give them an answer for what they're asking for. Changes doesn't get made doing the things that we're doing now. The only way we're going to see changes made is if we all get out there and we work together as a group.
Thank you. Okay, our next question will go just to our council candidates. Do you support funding public-private partnerships within the city at their current levels? And Kyle, since I almost missed you on one round, I'm going to start with you this time.
So the public-private, are you talking like the chamber and the CADC?
That type?
Okay. Yeah, there is a number of organizations that the city supports, and along with the county too. I think it's vital to have some of those organizations to be part of it. They do a lot of work behind the scenes that individuals don't always see. So I would support what we are currently doing.
Thank you. Tage Henkelman.
Yes, I would absolutely continue supporting both. If we're talking about the chamber and the CCGP, do I think that we need to be more involved? Yes, I do. I think the city council should be more involved where those dollars are going, but that can be a discussion at a later time.
Thank you. Jeff Kaler.
Yes, I'm 100% behind funding the outside funding sources that we've been doing to date. In researching this, we're only contributing $184,740 to these different agencies, and that accounts for 0.0076% of our city budget. Much like the school board candidates that spoke earlier, talking about having partnerships and coalitions and working together to accomplish things, we're not just donating this money to these people. They all serve a vital function in helping the city accomplish its overall mission. So I'm definitely 100% supporter.
Thank you. John Lawson.
Yes, I do support programs like the Chamber and the CCGP. I believe economic development is a must. We must continually strive to grow our tax base, as that contributes to a reduced demand on the existing base. I firmly believe in supporting economic development activities that are strategic, organic, and based on common sense.
Thank you. This is a question for all of our candidates. The local option sales tax provides vital funding for local projects and services. If there were discussions about shifting control of this revenue to state level, would you advocate with state legislators and the governor's office to protect local control of these funds? And I'm going to start with our mayor candidates. This time it is Dee's opportunity to begin first. Repeat the question. The local option sales tax provides vital funding for local projects and services. If there were discussions about shifting control of this revenue to the state level, would you advocate with state legislators and the governor's office to protect local control of these funds?
Absolutely. I think our money needs to stay in our community. Our money needs to stay here. You paid it. It belongs to you. It belongs to me. And I think our dollars should stay here, and we should have control of our tax dollars.
Thank you. Jerry Fleschner.
I would not be in favor of shifting this to the state government for, among other reasons. The main one is every time you move something like that around, there's some more labor involved, and what you send there might be $100. What you get back just by the work involved in transferring the money might be $99 or $98. It would be virtually impossible to receive for every city in the state to receive their money back 100%. That's not, simply not possible. So no, I would not be in favor of that at all. Plus, Carroll is a high revenue, high local option state area, and it would almost be inevitable that some might go to other places, certainly into big cities where they have more representatives.
Thank you. John Lawson.
Could you repeat the question, please?
The local option sales tax provides vital funding for local projects and services. If there were discussions about shifting control of this revenue to the state level, would you advocate with state legislators and the governor's office to protect local control of these funds?
Yes, I would like to keep local control of our local option sales tax. I'd like to keep it here in Carroll, because we all know what happens when money gets involved in other government hands. So yes, I would definitely keep it here.
Thank you. Jeff Kaler.
As I mentioned earlier, all of those outside agencies that we donate to total $184,000. All of that money comes from local option sales tax and hotel motel tax. So I would definitely advocate for keeping it locally. I think Mayor Fleschner was probably overly optimistic. If we send $100 to the state, my guess is we'll get back half of it. I don't think it will be distributed equitably at all. And Carroll's kind of a diamond in the rough in that we generate more money through our local option sales tax than almost any city in Iowa does. And as a result, everybody in our county benefits from that. So if we start sending it to the state, like John said, the more government hands that get on it, the fewer dollars are going to be here.
Thank you. Tage Henkelman.
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you. Kyle Bauer.
Yeah, definitely would sit down with representatives. Already have in the past on some other things, so I would definitely advocate to keep that in local community hands versus sending it to the state.
Thank you. Okay, I have another question for all 6 of you. As our community demographics change, how would you encourage or ensure that immigrant voices are represented in town decision-making and advisory boards? And this time, we're going to start with Tage Henkelman.
You know, that's a tough question, and that's something that I don't think has really been brought up to the city of Carroll to this point, to my knowledge. So I don't think I have the information to answer that question. I think that'd be something we need to reach out to other towns, maybe Denison, Jefferson, Perry, even reach out to some of the larger cities like Des Moines and Ankeny. So short answer is I don't have enough information to answer that question.
Thank you. Kyle Bauer.
I was hoping I wouldn't get that one first, just for the fact of it's something we have not really experienced here in Carroll. I think it's going to be one of those things that we're going to have to experience it, just like some businesses experience it with employees. It'll be a learning curve for us. It's one of those things that we've got to grab the bull by the horns and learn to adapt with it. Is it something that we have an interpreter from? I'm going to use Spanish to English, things of that nature. So something to get the communication out there, but something that we'll have to learn and adapt to.
Thank you. John Lawson.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes. As our community demographics change, how will you encourage and ensure that migrant voices are represented in town decision-making and on advisory boards?
I feel like they should have the same voice as the rest of the citizens. They live here in the community with us. They're working just like us. They should have the same voice as everybody else. Yeah, there's going to be a learning curve as far as culture, language barriers, and stuff like that, but I think it's just going to be a curve, and we'll just have to deal with it and run with it as it goes.
Thank you. Jeff Kaler.
I think we can learn a lot from other cities. As I mentioned earlier, I grew up in Storm Lake. Storm Lake is probably the front runner, not only in Iowa, but in the country for assimilating these new populations in their existing populations. We can learn from those people. I think it's also important that we get our city staff, our department heads, our police officers, firefighters, everybody else involved in this. I think we all have contact with people from different cultures on a fairly regular basis and build relationships with those people. That being said, I think we need to get all citizens involved more in city government. As I mentioned, I go to the council meetings regularly now, and there's about 3 of us that are typically there. So I'd like to get everybody in the community involved, including the other cultures that are addressed in this question.
Thank you. Dee Svensson.
Well, my answer to this is just going to be really simple, and I feel like I'm just sitting up here repeating myself. If you are a citizen and you live in Carroll, you have a voice, and I think we need to hear your voice because you are a part of the community.
Thank you. Jerry Fleschner.
Everyone out here, I'm certain, wants new cultures and new people to have equal opportunity to yourselves, whether you're a minority or not. It looks to me like most people here are native Carolinians, I will call you, but I've never heard anyone discourage the movement of new peoples into the area. What I would like to do, if from a city level, is to enlist private groups, specifically the churches, and see that they can be a big part of assisting people with problems, especially with language. I could give you an example. The Lutheran Church, St. Paul Lutheran Church, has a bilingual, actually a Hispanic service on Saturday nights that they allow in their church, and we need more of that sort of thing. So let's get the private people involved, the volunteer groups, and I have no reason for the city to discourage that.
Thank you. I'm going to do my best to combine 2 questions here that I think are related. And it's about, the 2 questions are about limited resources, competing needs, and improving our quality of life and making investments in our community. So please don't ask me to repeat this question. But the reference is to train noise reduction, wider cement walking areas and paths through our communities, and if not these, what other things would you consider? Did I give you enough background? Okay. So these are for the council members, and we're going to go in reverse order of this last time, so we're going to start with you, Jeff Kaler.
I hate to say it, but could you consolidate that into a shorter question, please?
There are limited resources. There are many needs to make our community better. What are you willing to invest in?
First of all, I think it's important for all of us to remember that the city is in the business of providing services. That's all we do. There are certain things that we have to provide, water, wastewater, streets, police, fire, things like that. There are other things, parks, recreation, golf course. I see our librarian is here tonight. So when we talk about providing services, we have to recognize that a significant portion of our budget is pretty much tasked for those specific things that we have to do. A very small percentage is designated for those recreational opportunities. I think what we have to do is analyze where those dollars are going, decide what the community needs to have and what they want to have, and then designate resources accordingly.
Thank you. John Lawson.
Well, I think we need to keep improving our infrastructure and public safety. I think we need to work with economic development groups, come up with solutions that are strategic, that are based on common sense for the greater good of the community. Keep supporting local businesses whenever we can so business can grow and expand and create new job opportunities. And also improve the quality of life for citizens by keeping property tax levies in check and improving on them.
Thank you. Kyle Bauer.
So I am in favor of economic development and funding things of that nature to help Carroll thrive and grow, to drive new businesses here. Businesses, restaurants, whatever it may be, businesses downtown. Train horn reduction was brought up. I think money could be spent in other places better than train horn reduction. And when that was up on vote 2 years ago, I was a no vote on that, and I still would be today. So.
Thank you. Tage Hinkleman.
You left that question open-ended, so I might go off on a tangent. Train horn mitigation, let's take it to a public referendum. Let's vote. Let's do it. If it's done, it's done. As far as these limited resources, folks, we just about had the biggest catastrophe this town's ever seen. Thank God there's a God. We just about spent $30,000 an acre on land that you can't even build on. So, pay attention. Keep your eyes and ears open. Infrastructure, safety, public safety, public safety, public safety. Firemen need to take care of them. First responders need to take care of them. So, I just encourage everyone to keep their eyes and ears open and see what's really going on.
Thank you. This is a question also just for the city council candidates. What role should the city play in supporting housing options that are affordable and meet the needs of families, seniors, and young professionals? This time we are going to start with John Lawson.
Could you repeat that again, please?
Yes. What role should the city play in supporting housing options that are affordable and meet the needs of families, seniors, and young professionals?
Well, like I said before, I don't believe the city should be involved in purchasing land for housing. I think land acquisition should solely be for the developers. I think the developers know what they're doing. They've been doing a good job in this community for a while. I know I run pretty much every gas service to them, and I keep in touch with the developers around here, and I think they know what they're doing and they do pretty good work. And I'm all for Carroll growing and thriving, but I believe it needs to be done organically and not off the backs of the taxpayers.
Thank you. Jeff Kaler.
I think, first of all, we have to determine what the housing needs are. The one thing that I've always advocated for is for the city government to create an environment that's conducive to developers to build streets, to build houses, to build multifamily housing and things like that. The city's done a number of things in the last 5 or 10 years. We took some of the federal ARPA funds that came in and we provided housing incentives for, I think, 30 people, or 30 of those grants, I think, is what have been approved so far. They've done property tax abatements for 5 years for up to the first $75,000. So I think doing things like that to create an environment that's conducive not only for developers, but for people who are looking to move here or to build homes and things like that is probably the first approach that I would advocate for.
Thank you. Tage Hinkleman.
The role of the city should not be in the housing market, should not be in the development business. Local government is essential services, so housing, not on their radar. Now, the incentivizing, the tax abatements, yes, I think that's great. You know, we got stuff going with Matt Gredeman. I think Jeff did get some sort of grant or whatever you want to call it for his house. I know Kyle's utilized it, which I think that those are great things. Now, should we give them to the people that want to move and live here, the actual builders, developers? That's a really tough question for me to answer. So I think I'll leave it with that. I did find out today, I talked to 2 realtors today. Right now in Carroll, we have 60-ish houses for sale. He wasn't sure about all the private sales. And then he said about 60-ish lots. One thing he did say is, I had to write this down because I was going to forget. Right now, there are 9 new spec homes, condos, or duplexes, 9 total. He said that's the most in 8 to 10 years.
Thank you. Kyle Bauer.
Yeah, I think the city should be a partner and be a listening ear for developers and builders for sure. I think the incentives definitely went over well. I think we should continue to do some of those things. You know, I think the city should look at options to help bring the cost of land lots down. And I've been very vocal on that from the beginning of, you know, how does an individual spend $70,000 on a lot to build a new house? So I think if the developer and the city could work together some way or another to help that, I think that would help some things out as well.
Thank you. Well, I still have about 2/3 of the questions that were submitted for the council and the mayor. Would you like to keep going on until about 10:30 or 11 o'clock? Oh, I think the candidates said no. So we're just about ready to go into our closing statement. But I do want you to know that we appreciate all of the questions that were submitted prior to the event, during the event, and we're going to tell you how you can continue to get your questions asked and answered prior to the election. One will be to visit with the candidates after this event is over. So we are ready to begin with our 1-minute closing statements. And we started with our mayor candidates at the beginning. So we're going to start with our council candidates, and we're going to start at the other end of the table. So, 1-minute closing statement. Tage Hinkleman.
Well, I think everyone got my point that I'm not a politician. My answers are my answers. Do I have an open mind? Absolutely. So I'm more than willing to work with anyone. I sell insurance, for God's sakes. I deal with people every day. I'm an auctioneer. I deal with people every day. So thank you again for everyone coming out tonight. Thank you to the Chamber for hosting this forum. My name is Tage Hinkleman. I am 28 years young. I'm very ambitious. I'm ready to work, and I'm ready to learn. What I want to bring is common sense back into local government. Again, I'm not a politician. What you see is what you get. Carroll deserves smart spending, reliable service, accessible leadership, transparency in every decision we make. I'm running to represent Ward 3 and the community, and I would truly appreciate your support and your vote on November 4th. Thank you.
Thank you. Kyle Bauer.
Thank you all for being here tonight. You've heard a lot of great ideas this evening, but here's one thing I want you to remember. I'm not running to make promises. I'm running to make progress for Carroll. I believe in the city where everybody feels heard, where local government works for all of us, and where we turn our shared challenges into solutions. I, Kyle Bauer, ask for your vote November 4th.
Thank you. John Lawson.
Well, I guess I have nothing to gain or lose in serving my community. I'm not originally from here. I'm not in business for myself. Therefore, I have no hidden agenda. I bring with me a blue-collar, hard-working attitude, and I feel I will have a fresh set of eyes with no preconceived views on issues. I believe all of us have the same goals. I want to accomplish those goals efficiently and as cost-effectively as I can. My decisions will be strictly based upon what's best for the common good of the community. I look forward to serving the great community of Carroll, and I hope I earn your vote November 4th. Thanks.
Thank you. Jeff Kaler.
Thanks to all of you again for coming out, and again, thanks to the candidates who've decided to run for these offices. My record in this community is pretty public. My budgets were always very, very low. They were below average, but we got the job done. We were consistently in the lowest 2 or 3 in the state with our crime rate. I've been involved in city government for over 40 years now. And unlike Tage, who's 27 years young, or 28 years young, I'm 67 years young with a great deal of experience. I'm not going to hold Tage's youth and inexperience against him at all. So that's a Ronald Reaganism for you older folks. But my main thing tonight, I want to make sure that people get out to vote. If you vote for John, I'm all in favor of that. If you vote for me, I'm all in favor of that. But I'm very discouraged over the years, especially these midterm elections, the low number of people that come out to vote. So you're going to see me on Facebook and other places over the next few weeks. Get out to vote. Encourage your friends and neighbors to vote. And thank you so much for your support.
Thank you. Dee Svensson.
I also would like to thank everybody for coming out tonight to meet us, to talk with us, and I hope that afterwards you can have questions. I speak a lot better one-on-one than I do up here on a timed frame, but I'm asking each and every one of you here tonight to please make sure that you go out on November 4th and vote. I encourage your friends, your neighbors, your family. Remember, your vote counts. Your vote counts, and get out there and support the candidate that you feel that's really going to give Carroll what it needs, what the best interest that it has. And I hope that I can count on your vote on November the 4th for the mayor of Carroll. Together, we are the voice of Carroll. We are Carroll when we need to partnership with each other and help Carroll become the best version of itself. A city that is very proud of its roots, its commitment to progress, and its shared values. And I want to be that voice for you and help you.
Thank you. Jerry Fleschner.
Well, let me remind you all that we have worked, or at least I have, and other council members that have been here already, to work and keep our debt rates and levy rates as low as we can. We don't spend aggressively. I don't feel that we have, and we've given up a lot of projects because we don't want to, because we know we're spending someone else's money. In the long run, other cities would be thrilled to be in our situation as a town. I'm not afraid of saving money, and I don't fear progress either, which sometimes costs some money. I've said this before, and it comes straight from my heart. There are many people that care for this town just as much as I do. All of you in here do. But nobody cares for it any more than me. I thank you all for coming tonight, and I ask for your vote on November 4th.
Thank you. As Kimberly comes up to make her final comments, would you please join me in thanking all of our candidates for being here tonight?
I just have a few thank yous to give out this evening. I want to thank our moderator, Trish, for taking care of this evening. Thank you to all of our candidates for your thoughtful answers and for being here this evening. Thank you to all of you who've attended here in person and for those of you who are listening at home. Thank you to everyone who submitted questions, a lot of great questions, well thought out. Thank you to Carroll Broadcasting and to the Carroll Times-Herald for your coverage this evening. And of course, we can't leave out Hubert for his work as our timekeeper. And to the Carroll Chamber of Commerce Legislative Committee, Casey Burlow, Hubert Hageman, Rick Hunsaker, Aaron Quaker, Trish Roberts, and Noah Dryden. And I'd also like to thank our staff person at the Chamber, Ashley Shabel, who heads up our legislative committee. We had a lot of great questions this evening, as we've mentioned, and we weren't able to get to all of them. We do want to give you access to the candidates, and as they've mentioned, they'll be here to visit with afterwards. But we also want you to know that their names and their emails will be on our Chamber Facebook page, so please don't hesitate to check that out and to reach out to them to get your questions answered and give them time to do that. So thank you all for coming this evening or listening this evening. And as has been mentioned, please do vote on Tuesday, November 4th.